Have you ever felt like you're constantly pushing against a closed door? Like the more you fight a situation, the more it sticks to you? Or felt trapped in a situation you couldn't escape, the job you dreaded, a relationship that drained you, or a conflict that just wouldn't end? Have you wished for harmony, only to find yourself constantly at war with your circumstances? What if I told you that peace isn't found by fighting your battles, but by laying down your arms? That true power lies not in resistance, but in a profound state of non-resistance? Welcome back to Frequency Chapters. Today we are continuing our journey into the timeless classic, The Game of Life and How to Play It by the incredible Florence Scovel Shinn. We're diving deep into the fourth chapter, The Law of Nonresistance, to discover how you can overcome any obstacle by aligning with a higher power, enhanced with a Solfeggio frequency called peace. So, what is the secret to this invincible power? The scriptures guide us with a profound teaching. Resist not evil. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. The Chinese say that water is the most powerful element because it is perfectly non-resistant. It can wear away a rock and sweep all before it. Nothing on earth can resist an absolutely non-resistant person. Scripture says, "Resist not evil, for he knew that in reality, there's no evil, therefore nothing to resist." What it really means is that when we focus our energy on fighting something, we actually give it more power. When you resist, you're in a state of torment, constantly struggling. But when you practice non-resistance, you become like water, powerful, adaptable, and unstoppable. What we perceive as evil is a product of man's vain imagination, a belief into opposing powers, good and evil. An old legend tells us that Adam and Eve ate from Maya, the tree of illusion, and began to see two powers instead of the one true power, God. Therefore, evil is a false law humans have created for themselves through what is called psychoma, or soul sleep. This means that people's souls have been hypnotized by the collective belief in sin, sickness, and death. This mortal thought then causes a person's external affairs to outpicture these very illusions. Outpicturing refers to the process by which a person's inner thoughts, beliefs, and consciousness manifest in their external, physical reality. The concept operates on the principle, as within, so without. We've learned in previous chapters that man's soul is his subconscious mind. Whatever he feels deeply, whether good or bad, is outpictured by that faithful servant. His body and his affairs simply show forth what he has been picturing. The sick man has pictured sickness. The poor man, poverty. The rich man, wealth. People often ask, why does a little child attract illness when it is too young to even know what it means? The answer is that children are incredibly sensitive and receptive to the thoughts of others around them, and they often outpicture the fears of their parents. I once heard a metaphysician say, if you do not run your subconscious mind yourself, someone else will run it for you. Mothers, often unconsciously, attract illness and disaster to their children by constantly holding them in thoughts of fear and watching for symptoms. A friend once asked a woman if her little girl had had the measles. She replied promptly, "Not yet." This implied that she was expecting the illness, therefore preparing the way for the very thing she did not want for her child. However, the person who is centered and established in right thinking, who sends out only goodwill and is without fear, cannot be touched by the negative thoughts of others. In fact, they can then only receive good thoughts, as they themselves send forth only good thoughts. Resistance is hell, for it places man in a state of torment. Let me share a fantastic recipe a metaphysician once gave me for taking every trick in the game of life. It is the very height of non-resistance. He told me, at one time in my life, I baptized children, and I gave them different names. Now I no longer baptize children, but I baptize events. When I baptize events, I give every single event the same name, success. If I experience a failure, I do not fight it or despair. I baptize the event in the name of the Creator. In this, we see the great law of transmutation, founded on non-resistance. Through his spoken word, every failure was transmuted into success. Let me share a story that illustrates this perfectly. A woman who needed money and understood the spiritual law of opulence found herself constantly interacting in business with a man who made her feel very poor. He talked only of lack and limitation, and she began to absorb his poverty thoughts. She grew to dislike him, blaming him for her own financial failures. She knew that to demonstrate her supply, she first had to feel that she had already received. A feeling of opulence must precede its manifestation. Then one day, it dawned on her. She was resisting the situation and seeing two powers instead of one. So she began to bless the man. She baptized the entire situation success. She affirmed, as there is only one power, God. This man is here for my good and my prosperity. Soon after, through this very man, she met a woman who gave her several $1,000s for a service rendered, and the man who caused her such distress. He moved to a distant city and faded harmoniously from her life. Make this powerful statement. Every person is a golden link in the chain of my good. For all men are God in manifestation, waiting for the opportunity to serve the divine plan of your life. Bless your enemy, and you rob him of his ammunition. His arrows will be transmuted into blessings. This law is true for nations as well as for individuals. Bless a nation, send love and goodwill to every inhabitant, and it is robbed of its power to harm. People can only grasp the right idea of non-resistance through spiritual understanding. My students have often told me, I don't want to be a doormat. I reply, when you use non-resistance with wisdom, no one will ever be able to walk over you. Here's another example. One day, I was impatiently waiting for an important telephone call. I resisted every call that came in, and I made no outgoing calls, reasoning that it might interfere with the one I was expecting. Instead of affirming, divine ideas never conflict. The call will come at the right time, and leaving it to infinite intelligence. I tried to manage things myself. I made the battle mine, not God's, and remained tense and anxious. For about an hour, the phone didn't ring at all. When I finally glanced at it, I saw the receiver had been off the hook the entire time. The line was disconnected. My anxiety, fear, and belief in interference had brought on a total eclipse of the telephone. Realizing what I had done, I immediately began blessing the situation. I baptized its success and affirmed, I cannot lose any call that belongs to me by divine right. I am under grace and not under law. One's ships come in over a calm sea. So long as a man resists a situation, he will have it with him. If he runs away from it, it will run after him. I repeated this to a woman one day, and she replied, how true that is. I was unhappy at home. I disliked my mother, who was critical and domineering. So I ran away and was married. But I married my mother, for my husband was exactly like my mother, and I had the same situation to face again. The scripture says, agree with thine adversary quickly. This means agree that the adverse situation is good. Be undisturbed by it, and it will fall away of its own weight. A wonderful affirmation is, none of these things move me. An inharmonious situation comes from some inharmony within people themselves. When there is no emotional response in her to an inharmonious situation, it fades away forever from her pathway. So you see, one's work is always with themselves. People have said to me, give treatments to change my husband or my brother. I reply, No. I will give treatments to change you. When you change, your husband and your brother will change. One of my students had a habit of lying. I told her it was a failure method and that if she lied, she would be lied to. She replied, "I don't care. I can't possibly get along without lying." One day, she was on the phone with a man she was very much in love with. She turned to me and said, "I don't trust him. I know he's lying to me." I replied, "Well, you lie yourself, so someone has to lie to you. And you can be sure it will be the very person you want the truth from." Life is a mirror, and we find only ourselves reflected in our associates. Living in the past is another failure method and a violation of spiritual law. We should bless the past and forget it if it holds us in bondage, and bless the future knowing it has endless joys, but live fully in the now. We must be spiritually alert, ever awaiting our leads, taking advantage of every opportunity. Begin the day with right words. Make an affirmation immediately upon waking. For example, "Thy will be done this day. Today is a day of completion. I give thanks for this perfect day. Miracle shall follow miracle, and wonders shall never cease." Make this a habit, and you will see wonders and miracles come into your life. One morning I read, "Look with wonder at that which is before you." It seemed to be my message for the day. I repeated it again and again. At about noon, a large sum of money was given to me that I had been desiring. One should never use an affirmation unless it is absolutely satisfying and convincing to his own consciousness. The following has brought success to many. I have a wonderful work. In a wonderful way. I give wonderful service for wonderful pay. A student of mine took this, and she went about singing it aloud. Soon, she did receive wonderful work in a wonderful way and gave wonderful service for wonderful pay. Another student, a businessman, changed the word work to business. He repeated, "I have a wonderful business in a wonderful way, and I give wonderful service for wonderful pay." That afternoon, he made a $41,000 deal, though there had been no activity in his affairs for months. Every affirmation must be carefully worded and completely cover the ground. It is our divine right to have plenty, more than enough. Our barns should be full, and our cups should flow over. This is the Creator's idea for humans. And when a person breaks down the barriers of lack in its own consciousness, the success age will be his, and every righteous desire of his heart will be fulfilled. Thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, please be sure to like and subscribe to Frequency Chapters. You won't want to miss the next Frequency Enhanced Chapter Summary for focus, healing, and abundance.